Hello, all you lovelies. It's Lisa Jane here on the 18th of March 2019, and I'm trying to commit very strongly to offering you a video once a week. I hope what I share with you makes some sense or offers you some guidance. Quite often, some of the themes I present are those that I'm picking up with my clients. But more often than not, when I'm reading the energetic signature of a place or a happening or an event, I receive imagery and symbolism with a sense of some words and a feeling as to what is going down at that particular point in time. So what I want to share with you today is in and around the full moon on Wednesday the 20th, and then the equinox straight after that. And what it feels to me is an extremely powerful event. We are indeed going through some very, very powerful energetic shifts, and they are not going to end anytime soon. I hope that doesn't strike fear in you. In fact, what is a strong sentence that has been around for me since the beginning of the year is now is the time. So this year, this energy, the 3 energy, is really asking of us to make the changes now. And actually that's happening on a global scale. If you want to read an article I wrote on my Facebook page about my thoughts on the New Zealand tragedy, which is a tragedy for the people there and actually for us as humans on this planet, then the link is below. But it is all part of a greater plan that is happening. And while I understand some people see this and immediately step into fear and terror, and it is horrifying, we need to understand the energetic context in which these things are happening. In the spiritual circles, you may have heard the words New Earth, and I've spoken about the theory around ascension. It's all part of a human evolution, an evolutionary path that is happening for humans, where what we are doing is we're becoming more aware of our consciousness, we're becoming more aware of our connectedness, and we're becoming more aware that we are all part of a creator source energy, and that we have a responsibility, not just to be human and do our day-to-day things, but to really work with ourselves in a different way. So, having said that, what is it about the upcoming full moon and the equinox that is offering some point of change for us? What is happening overall energetically, and has been for some time, but this year I feel it's particularly ramped up, is that we are moving. So the imagery that's coming through for me is a bit like a San Francisco fault, right? Where you see images of those roads that just kind of rip apart. Our world is ripping apart. We are moving to a new and higher way of being. But what is happening in the process is there is part of the earth, people, consciousness that is staying on a lower realm. But we have split. Okay, so that's the symbolism of, for me, is that the fault. We have split and we are moving. And it's going to continue to move. So it really is asking, which place are you going to choose to work from? Are you going to choose to work from the lower place of the lower frequencies of competitiveness, greed, fear, hate, codependency, name, blame, shame? Or are you going to move to a place that is a higher place of love, of compassion, of respect? Right? Energetically, those are 2 very different sets of frequency. And for a long, long time, us humans on planet Earth have been operating from the lower one. And now what is happening on a global level is that the structures that support that, be they interpersonal relationships, be they financial institutions, be they societal structures, are breaking and falling away and just not working. We, of course, were planted here on the earth with free will. So we get to choose, right? We get to choose, are we going to stay in that lower part of the earth, or are we going to move to a higher vibration? A lot of people are in various places. Some people are going to be stuck on this bottom and actually are not going to move. And then they're not going to be able to see what's happening because it's going to be like a hologram. They're just not going to be part of that movie. Some people are finding themselves in the middle where the world is really dropping out underneath their feet, where things are changing. And again, symbolically, it is in the middle of that crevasse where you're feeling everything fall away and yet you don't feel aligned to the old way of being. Then there are some, and I'm going to make this a little clip here because it is an uphill climb. There are some that are hanging on tentatively to the edge of this cliff face that has been created by this rip and tear energetically. And they're in two minds. Do I jump now and stay behind in the old way? Or do I climb up? And it is going to seem like a climb up. It is going to feel incredibly difficult. And then we have people, in various forms up the hill, on the plateau, wherever they are in the higher frequency. So, what more do I want to say? This change, this shift is going to be happening for a long time. It's not going to be something that changes overnight, because it is going to be a change to the fundamental structure of our society, of our community. So whilst there is fear that's been created around a whole lot of issues, violence, climate change, governmental issues, my belief is that we are moving towards a higher way, and we're not going to be stuck here in the middle of chaos. Things are going to change. And actually, today, when I saw pictures of the New Zealand Prime Minister, I realized that things are already changing, even if it doesn't seem like it. Because what has happened in New Zealand has been tragic, and God rest all those souls that passed away or moved over, that essentially sacrificed themselves in order for us to see a new way of being. Because my feeling is that New Zealand will come along and will actually make the changes. Like what resonated strongly for me in the beginning of the year, now is the time. I think she actually said that, now is the time. So some peacekeeping land like New Zealand may very well make those policy and government changes that are going to actually take them to a higher level. Other countries will follow suit. So things are changing, but it is going to take trauma and turmoil and tragedy. And hopefully you're all safe from that. But in your own personal lives, you may be experiencing that too, where some people are falling away, some people are remaining behind. But there's a continual climb upwards where we move to that. So that is the context of my talk. And in terms of how it relates to the full moon and the equinox coming, well, there's another imagery that came up, and that is snakes and ladders. I'm sure all of you have played snakes or ladders, or you understand what it is. And you roll the dice and you get a great ladder up. Sometimes you roll the dice and there's a snake taking you down. Well, my sense is with this upcoming energy, the full moon and the equinox is providing us with another huge energetic boost. And for those that are waking up, for those that want to change, there's a ladder. It's going to be a very quick and rapid ascension, climb to a higher vibration where things will fall away and you just won't be at that place again. So whether you have individual realizations or awakenings, whether things around you change, and you look back and you look, oh my God, how did that happen? That was amazing. This, I feel, is what's going to happen. And whereas I've spoken before about the energies coming in where we almost make ourselves available and then passively receive them, well, as passively as we can, this one feels like we're being ripped up, right? So this isn't going to be such a passive one. It's going to be an energy that actually pulls us out of our comfort zone and takes us to a higher place if we want to go. Because again, that's a reminder, we have free will. So if we want to go to a higher place, if we want to let go of those beliefs, thoughts, behaviors that keep us stuck in the lower realms of name, blame, shame, victimhood, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, believing you're not good enough, those are all now of the old paradigm. They are not working anymore. They are not where you need to be. So I ask all of you that are working on yourselves and want to move to a higher place, and again, higher and lower are just a means of distinguishing the two. One is not better or less than. Well, you can debate that for another day. But I'm not being judgmental of those people who choose to stay in familiar places, because that is their choice. But if you are someone who is looking to work on yourself spiritually, who is looking to grow and develop and find a different way of being, a different way of interacting, now is the time. Make yourself available on Wednesday in the full moon and the equinox to really just sit in solitude and silence And again, just pull in that energy. Move forward on those projects, on those things you're working on yourself that you feel you need to. Don't procrastinate anymore, because the energies are really, really supportive, and the energies are asking us to do this. You may well feel, and I'm adding this as a footnote because I've certainly felt it, a physical impact where you feel tired, where you feel drained, where maybe your throat, especially your throat and chest area, heart chakra, are going to be affected by sore throat, chest. It's all because we're looking at opening our hearts, and energetically we're being asked to open up our heart center. So that may be the physical component of that. Go gentle, take vitamin C, multivits, echinacea, whatever it is you do, rest and sleep, but make yourself available. And please, please, try and stay in a place of love for all, of hope, of faith, of compassion. And of course, we pray for those souls past, and we hold them in our thoughts, and we send love and compassion and blessings to that area. But it is now the time for each of us individually to make that change. And I will leave you with that. I am hoping to make a meditation, which I'll make available for my coherence students. Coherence is a course that I've run a couple of times that was really accepted very well, and takes you through various ways of letting go of lower vibrations, but also stepping into a higher place, stepping into a place of where you're aligned to your source energy, and working with the element of coherence to bring you closer in connection with your heart's wisdom and intuition and your soul's guidance. But I may well make that available a couple of days after, just for the general use. So if you want to participate in that, or for me to share the link, then let me know. And please pass comments. I'm here for you. I will be guided to share certain things with you, but at the same time, if you feel there's something that you want me to talk about, I really will take the time to meditate and connect and see what my guides and source has to say. So with that, I wish you a very, very blessed day, a very blessed Monday, a blessed week. And let's all hold those people that were victims of the violence in our hearts and prayers, and keep aligning to the highest good and healing for all. With much love and blessings, Lisa Jane. Bye.